and it was just like it was terrible. It was just, I mean, it sounded like a metal band but it was just all about puking and farting. Anyway, what was I talking about? Hi everybody, welcome to Geeky Geezers. I'm your host, Agent Boomer. This is my co-host, Pacelli, my other co-host, Netter of Netters Network, the Geezette. Welcome.
Good evening.
Hello.
I'm telling you, man, I've been thinking about what we talked about on Friday on last call, and I'm thinking, you know what, I think it was a weather balloon. I agree.
Oh, gosh. Did they get to you? Did they flash anything you or something?
No, man, these guys... The guy said, you better submit it as a weather balloon or I'm going to key your car. And then I said, okay. And then he keyed the car anyway. And the men in black walked off. No, I'm kidding.
There was a video you sent me that I had just watched before we went live. And I said, yeah, it's just too meaty for us to get into.
To watch that, yes.
I'm sure you should. Yeah. I think you'll be very interested. What it comes down to is it's all about the misinformation that the government has been throwing out there to purposely confuse people. I mean, whether or not there's aliens and all that kind of stuff, put that aside for right now. We know the government has secrets, and they would rather you be chasing at fiction,
yes,
rather than whatever. And it's all shadow ops.
That was the plot of X-Files season 5, right, where Mulder came to the conclusion that a lot of this UFO stuff he was actually starting to doubt, thinking that this was actually shadow government misinformation being thrown out there to mess with him. So he didn't know what to believe anymore, because originally he was a big believer in all the UFO stuff.
At this point, yeah. I would encourage everyone, and if you haven't figured this out in the past 5 to 6 years, just understand, when you hear something from the mainstream media and you hear something from the government, assume it's not true until you get significant evidence to the contrary.
Anyway, welcome everybody to Geeky Geezers. We're gonna have some. We actually have. I don't want to jinx it. But originally, when this show started out, of us calling out all the nonsense in Hollywood, particularly a lot of the woke content coming out that was ruining our favorite franchises and stuff, and just all around, and not just that, but the all around bad quality. And I was hoping that one day we'd be able to start talking about things that we could get excited about, like we did in the good old days. Hence the good old days segments. Well, later tonight, I think one of our segments, for the first time in a long time, I'm actually looking forward to the prospect of a new cinematic universe. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit, so stay tuned. But just want to welcome everybody to the chat. Welcome Connie Cleary.
Yep.
Welcome Big Al. Big Al Presents.
Thank you so much. He always says have a great show, because he knows what it's like to host a show, and it's
welcome Netter, who's also with us. So I guess
absolutely. Netter, do you get nervous before a show?
No.
Oh, okay.
I did it first, man. I was kind of a mess that first stream.
I still kind of do.
Yeah, at the beginning, I was always nervous because it was like, what do I just stumble on my words, or I just don't know what to say, but it does get easier the more you do it.
Yeah.
And if I get stuck, I just signal to Troy, like help. And he's really good at talking, so it's just kind of like, and he's really good at bringing people out.
What she's saying is she knows her husband's a BS artist, so I did not realize I'm sorry. Well, I didn't mean to step on your welcoming Lynn Green, but
Star Trek turns 59 tomorrow.
Yeah, so maybe that'll be my Monday musing tomorrow. I'll talk about stuff.
Yeah, that'd be good for your Monday night talk. Yeah, about
exactly.
Well, I don't know. I guess you'll figure out what you want to talk about. There's so much to talk about with Star Trek.
There kind of is right now. Yeah.
Jessica Hardo, welcome. Let's see who else. The View with Drew, welcome. Have we had him on before? I think.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I like that name. Let's see here. Scroll down. Deleted scenes. Always welcome. Marc Malnekoff. Kapla. Well, here I are. Yes, you are. And let's see what else is going on.
Wallace Lang. Hail. Good to see you.
You know what I watched last night? I watched a Charlie Chan movie.
Oh, did you?
It was like Murder Cruise or something. I got a kick out of it, I have to admit, because there was this woman that kept getting into hysterics on the cruise ship with every little thing, right?
Hmm. Welcome to CluuStudio. Welcome. Good to see you.
Like you're
And I
on the ship, as I'm sorry, I see a hand reaching out towards you, but I know that can't be real. And then it touches Charlie Chan, and then she starts screaming again.
yeah.
Turns out it was his son. He was a stowaway, because his number 2 son or number 1 son would always sneak aboard the ship, right? To help.
4 seasons and a TV movie in 2000.
That's pretty good. 4 seasons, especially for a high concept show like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
So
yes.
I guess the only real way to start this out is Knight Rider, a shadowy flight into the dangerous world of a man who does not exist. Michael Knight, a young loner on a crusade to champion the cause of the innocent, the helpless, the powerless, in a world of criminals who operate above the law.
I love that intro. I actually did watch
Right?
that intro a few times before the stream. It had that iconic 80s
Dun-dun,
synth music, very
dun-dun,
mysterious,
dun-dun. Yeah, exactly.
kind of dark, like, ooh, there's danger. There's mystery around the corner.
And a
yes.
Trans Am, I mean, a Trans Am was just a cool car back then. I mean, it was either that or the Corvette Stingray, right?
Yes. Now, I did watch a couple scenes. Apparently, there's a scene where Michael's driving. He says, I need some music. With all these gizmos, figured there'd be a switch to radio. Then the car starts talking to him, what kind of music would you like? And he's like, what? Who's that? I'm Kid. He's like, he gives the anachronism. I'm the onboard computer. Basically, now, of course, that wouldn't be that unusual, right?
Right.
This is where we are now.
Nowadays, see, and that's it. It was very much ahead of its time. The voice of Kit was Netter.
William Daniels.
Absolutely.
My favorite John Adams.
Well, yes, that's true too, and of course, starred in Saint Elsewhere, among many other things that we love.
Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell. That's right. He was
the
Mr.
principal.
Mr. Feeney,
Mr. Feeney,
something like that.
Feely,
something like that.
I remember.
But
I never watched the show. So
he introduces himself. I am the Knight Industries 2000, or KIT for short.
Now, this was a high concept. I know Michael Knight, he was a detective. Did he get his face changed or something?
So here's...
Yes.
So interestingly, it kind of played on the same kind of formula as... I know this is going to sound like a crazy analogy, but kind of like Charlie's Angels, right? You had this guy, Charlie, who was the, unseen voice behind the whatever, but this one, not so unseen. So this billionaire, Wilton Knight, rescues a police detective, Lieutenant Michael Arthur Long, after a near-fatal gunshot. So this also sounds an awful lot like RoboCop, too.
Mm-hmm.
Near-fatal gunshot to his face, giving him a new face through plastic surgery and a new identity and the name Michael Knight. Wilton selects Michael to be the primary field agent in the pilot program of his public justice organization, the Foundation of Law and Government, FLAG. The other half of this pilot program is the Knight Industries 2000, KIT, a heavily modified, technologically advanced Pontiac Firebird Trans Am with numerous features including a highly durable shell and frame controlled by a computer with artificial intelligence. Michael and Kit are brought in during situations where direct action might provide the only feasible solution. A lot of great lore there, right? This quasi, it's private, but do they work with the government? This flag, and it's being run by an Elon Musk type character in Wilson Knight.
Yeah.
You've got your ex-police detective, well, now,
Kind of like Remo Williams, actually, if you think about it.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Remo Williams is probably a better analogy even than
RoboCop.
But I think both of them very, very similar.
Like RoboCop meets Remo Williams, actually.
Exactly.
I mean, there we go.
Exactly. In that, in this case, you have a human just getting his face changed, and the tech is a whole separate AI.
Yeah, it's not inside him; it's the car. But this was this was an interesting show. We had a Let me get some other pictures here. Now, I take it there'd be a lot of stunt work on the show with the car. It was supposed to be state of the art, could do things no other car could do, that sort of thing, right?
Now, just like
James Bond's Aston Martin times 1,000.
sure,
that sort of
absolutely.
Thing? Yeah, okay.
And just like so many other great car films and shows, like the DeLorean from Back to the Future and so forth, there are a lot of fans out there that have gotten themselves and modified, Pontiac Firebird Trans-Ams to have the moving LED light on the front, and deck out the interior to look like Kit, and there's actually a Brit that I saw do a complete restoration that with the sound bites of Daniel's voice, as Kit and so forth. Nowadays, actually, you could have a real functioning AI with an artificial, using artificial voice samples of Daniel's, actually speaking in Kit's voice.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's what I want for my GPS.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I've been really annoyed that, things like the Echo Dot and some of the other ones don't allow you to modify the voice. It's like, if you allow that, because the technology is so existing right now, you would clean up,
Jessica Ardo says, Troy, I'm surprised that Knight Rider didn't get a crossover with Airwolf. That was a missed opportunity. Oh, well.
Well, gee, I wonder if there's a possibility.
No, I don't think so. But Airwolf was another great show, which probably deserves a good old days of its own. Yeah, but
in fairness, as we were coming
another great
into
theme
the
song
studio,
for Airwolf, also. Yeah.
Oh yeah, another 80s synth type tune. We were talking in the backdrop, frustrated about so many shows that and TV properties, we should say, IPs that we can't do anything with them because they're held up by rights issues.
Like Buckaroo Banzai. I was talking about that.
He told me about Buckaroo Banzai. I didn't know about that when I mentioned Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. We all know the troubles that Disney has had regaining under the Marvel brand the rights to a lot of their the things that they licensed out and stuff. We know how, like, Spider-Man is at Sony and so forth.
Right.
And the one company that doesn't have this problem is creating the problems for themselves within their studio, and that's Warner Brothers with DC. We were talking about the whole Batman snafu right now.
I think the huge problem with Warner Brothers, and it might even still be then, is that there are too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yes.
And they need someone making... I mean, I guess that I assume that's what Gunn was brought aboard to fix, and whoever else he's working with, but we'll see how it goes.
There aren't enough good showrunners or people that you can really trust with these IPs, but there are some.
So here we have my David Hasselhoff. I mean, the expression "don't hassle the Hoff." I mean,
right.
Did that start with this show? Big star in the 80s. He has got great hair, I'll admit it. Yeah.
And he's also a great singer. Don't underestimate that. I know, unless you're into musical theater, you might not have heard a lot of his singing, but he is, if Michael Crawford is the Phantom of the Opera, then Hasselhoff is Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah. Agent Boomer, you say that until someone hacks your car's computer and mess around with the AI voice. Troy and Netter got to hear my GPS voice live because I picked the British voice for it.
That's
and
right.
She kept saying, "Get off on the slip road," and Troy's like, "What's the slip road?" And it's like, I think that means access road, but they were using English slang for it.
Right.
And now on my new iPhone, I just use the American voice. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Germany loves him. Yes. Well, he was on.
Well,
Baywatch.
His name is Hasselhoff. I mean,
Yes.
they've got to have a certain amount of affinity. Sure.
He was also in Star Crash. Remember Star Crash? He was.
Yes, that's absolutely right.
Christopher Plummer's son. We have other cast members on the crew. He had a female, I'm assuming, sidekick, possible love interest, right?
That was Dr. Bonnie Barstow, played by Patricia McPherson.
One on the right, yeah.
Which I guess there's probably some behind the scenes stuff that I don't know about, because she was in season 1, then she wasn't in season 2, and she came back for 3 and 4. So I don't really know what the
Could be an
thing
argument
was
over
there.
salary or paycheck, or maybe she got a better offer on another show and then that show got canceled.
You could, if you were to make an analogy to James Bond, she would be like a cross between Moneypenny and Q.
And Q, interesting.
Yeah, because she was the chief technician, but also, you know, the sort of will they won't they type romance implication there.
Oh, they were playing David Hasselhoff's music when the Berlin Wall fell. Very interesting.
Good.
I have the Knight Rider video game for the Nintendo NES home console. Yes, I know they made the Knight Rider game. I was hoping there was an Atari Knight Rider game because I thought that would have been just perfect, but no, they had some game called Knight Driver. Really? Really?
Now, I was just getting old enough that I wasn't interested in the marketing for this, but my young cousin had the Knight Rider, you know, the kit car with the Michael Knight figure, which was a weird scale. I mean,
Oh, wait.
Michael.
I might have a picture
Michael.
of that. Hold on.
Oh yeah, Dynamite.
We'll get to that in a minute. Is that
That's
the one?
it.
Yep.
Yes, that's it. So it was a weird scale. It would even be small by comparison to the like Black Series 9-inch or what is it, 6-inch, whatever the typical scale is now. It's like 6-inch or whatever. So it was somewhere between 3 3/4 inch scale and 6-inch, and there were no other figures that size. And I'm like, that's kind of a missed opportunity. But what was cool about this was, well, you were able to get your action. And there also was no other figures from... this was all there was.
For Knight Rider.
You know, for Knight
I'm
Rider.
surprised there wasn't more, because the boys love cars. I mean, that's just a thing.
They, yeah, if they had thought through their...
marketing.
marketing, there would have been like another car, maybe with, you know, some... It didn't even have to be involved in anything from the show. Some other sports car with a different figure that could be played as a villain character or a I don't know, some sort of opponent or whatever. Get the other characters that were recurring characters from the show and whatnot, some bad guys for him to go up against, whatever. What was kind of neat, the play feature on this was, of course, you had the license plate said KITT on the back. If you put your thumb on that license plate and pull down on it, it was a switch that activated the random sound bites of Kit speaking, you know, activating the turbo boost and stuff like that. And it used what was pretty common back in the day, this little plastic, record that would play. And it would, yeah. And actually, Michael French over on Retro Blasting has a video about this particular car. Yeah. You should definitely check out.
That looked neater. That was was that a model kit?
That was the MPC model kit. I built that. I had I was looking at that. I wanted to make a model of a Trans Am, and I'm like, if I'm going to do a Trans Am, I might as well do Knight Rider. This was before I was old enough to really, know about electronics. Otherwise, I would have put the lights in the front to go back and forth, and maybe the pop-up lights. Those would all be customizations. Those were not features on this model kit. This was just the bare bones kind of thing.
Apparently, Playmobil has been delivering a Knight Rider, A-Team, Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, Star Trek, and the list keeps growing. They actually had a James Bond also.
Yes, they did, and Retro Blasting has videos on all of those things you just listed, including James Bond.
I was tempted with Playmobil because I'm a big fan of the Klingon Bird of Prey, and I know they had a pretty cool Klingon Bird of Prey toy.
Yeah.
But I just big fan of James Bond too. There's the Dynamite magazine cover. I had to throw that on there.
If you were in grade school in the 80s, the Scholastic Readers was yeah.
Oh, how 80s is this? I'm sorry, look at this. Look at this. Free unicorn poster. How 80s is this? Like You have Knight Rider for the boys. You have the unicorn poster inside
There
for the
really,
girls.
yeah, there was a
I mean,
poster in
this
every
is
single one. So yeah, that was one of
free
the
stickers.
features. Yep.
Win a bike. Oh, see, this is so
In
puzzles.
fact,
Yes.
in Dynamite, one of the selling features of the Dynamite magazine was whatever the poster was. There was a lot of great Star Wars posters.
There
that
was
came from
a
Dynamite.
Star Trek poster in one of them. I think from
Yep.
Star Trek 3 or 2 was
Mhm.
one of those. Yeah, they it was pretty cool. It had the remodeled Enterprise, which I always thought was my favorite Enterprise design too. And I know this from the fourth season. We got an added cast member, the man on the left there too. I guess it's a sidekick, right? So yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember his name. Give me a second. Was that that was Reggie, right?
I think
Played
so.
by
Yeah.
Peter Paros.
Hmm.
He was just in season 4, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, this was nothing against his character. He was fine, but this was one of those.
Was he like comic relief or something?
He was meant to breathe some life in. He was
Okay.
like a street vigilante that they kind of bring in, kind of be like a Robin character.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so they're bringing someone new. Also, for people tuning into the show for the first time, they'd have a new character to kind of introduce them to everything, right? Because everything's new for him, right?
That's
Yeah,
actually a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
From a narrative standpoint, that's absolutely true.
I had that toy Knight Rider, got it for Christmas, and played with it until the wheels came off. Oh, very good, Geek Flag. Very good. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Yeah, I mean, like I said, this was a big deal show. I take it he fought evil criminals on the show that the law couldn't get to.
Yeah, it was very similar in the vein to like the Hulk or whatever. It was just your villain of the week, nobody big, no, not like a super villain or anything like that.
Right. It's like this anime,
or like the A-Team even.
Right. It's like this anime from the 80s. I love Cat's Eye, where my brother and I were arguing. The villains they go up against in this are like the B-list villains you'd see on Batman the Animated Series. Because on Batman the Animated Series, you'd have the heavy hitters like the Joker or Ra's al Ghul. But then every so often you'd have these no-name villains, which were fine. Because I think you need a mix. But
you always need your generic bank
your generic,
robber
like,
or the hoods,
like a mobber or a terrorist or something like that.
Or the guy who's shaking down the town, or the corrupt sheriff in the town, or whatever.
Something like that, yeah. Or the guy running the mine with the homeless men in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me see. Early 1970s, Diamond Magazine had Alfred E. Newman on the cover to promote Mad Magazine. Interesting. I bet Mad Magazine did a spoof of Knight Rider. I'm sure they must have. Right.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And welcome, Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. Good to see you.
Look at this. What was this all about? Can you explain this to me? This is my final picture.
Yes, this was Kit, and you'll notice there's no driver in the car. So this was Kit on his own. Kit was able to kind of like the Batmobile. He's able to get around on his own without a driver. And
might stop in the drive-in movie for I'm kidding.
Sure. And he apparently was also able to double as a matador. Yes, Kit actually is fighting a bull in this scene.
Oh, that's funny.
And that's no bull.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. This is no bull. But Knight Rider, check it out. 4 seasons, and not to spoil things, but we might have some more Knight Rider news later on this evening. I'm just saying.
Welcome to the Horror Cat Dad. Kit versus Bull, and he's laughing. Yeah.
Yes, you've sold me. Robot car fighting a bull. What more do you need in a television show? That's all you needed back then.
Well, it was.
Now they would stretch the story out for 10 episodes and have a cliffhanger, and you wouldn't get a resolution. I'm sorry, wait, no.
In the 50s and 60s, they would have been fighting a gorilla, which would be a guy in a gorilla suit.
The best
by the 70s, it was a bear, and usually using stock footage of a bear or a tranquilized bear.
Bears were big. Yes.
And then, it was like after Fonzie jumped the shark, then it became whatever else they could come up with.
Oh, Fonzie jumping the shark. Knight Rider's 4 seasons and 2 failed reboots. I know about the first reboot that came out in 2008. I didn't actually watch it, and apparently nobody else did either because it lasted like 70. I can't speak to its quality. It might have been good, but it just didn't. It got its first season cut to like 17 episodes, and they just canceled it. So
Yeah.
I watched the intro for that one. It was more like it had the music, but they were going with more of a rock theme of the theme song instead of the synth, which
Right.
because back then they didn't realize the whole synthwave thing would come back into popularity. But
Right,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah, no, horror cat dad says a bear or Bigfoot. Yes,
Yeah,
it could have been Bigfoot too. That's right.
Bigfoot would have been if it was the 70s.
Right.
All right, man. But and then there was Knight Rider 2000. Oh, what? That was another one. That might have been the other Knight Rider reboot, Knight Rider 2000, which. So they've tried with Knight Rider, but like I said, we might have some more Knight Rider news upcoming. Yep. There we are, and unfortunately, we have to do our in remembrances tonight. Let me get my notes ready. Okay, here we go. Where'd it go? All right. Graham Greene, age 73. Graham Greene, trailblazing Canadian First Nations actor who opened doors for Indigenous actors in Hollywood, died September 1st in a Toronto hospital after a long illness. The Oscar nominee from Dances with Wolves was 73. I recognize him. It's hard to recognize him actually with the beard, but if you've probably seen him on a ton of shows where they would need like a Native American character on there. He would be the go-to actor. He would show up here. Yeah, he was a great man of morals, ethics, and character, and will be eternally missed. Green's agent, Michael Green, no relation, said in a statement to Deadline, "You are finally free. Susan Smith is meeting you at the gates of heaven," he added, referencing the actor's longtime agent who died in 2013. Green was born on June 22nd, 1952 in Ohsweken on the Six Nations Reserve. He worked odd jobs before giving acting a go. Green started on stage, and by the 1970s, he was performing in Canadian and English professional theater productions. I used the wrong word. I think I said Native American, but he's Canadian, so he would. Never mind.
Well, Native North American.
Yeah, okay. Well, there you go. Okay. He made his screen debut in 1979 in an episode of the Canadian drama series The Great Detective. His first movie was the 1983 Running Brave. Green's big breakthrough came several years later when Kevin Costner cast him as Kicking Bird, one of the main actors in his 1990 Western Dances with Wolves. The film landed 12 Academy Award nominations, including one for Green as Best Supporting Actor, and won 7, including Best Picture. Dances with Wolves launched Green's Hollywood career. He went on to appear in such high-profile features as Maverick in 1994 with Mel Gibson and Jodie Foster, Die Hard with a Vengeance in 1995 with Bruce Willis, The Green Mile, 1999 with Tom Hanks, Twilight Saga New Moon, 2009 with Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson, as well as Aaron Sorkin's Molly's Game with Jessica Chastain, Idris Elba, and Kevin Costner. Graham also had main roles in Thunderheart, 1992, opposite Val Kilmer, Transamerica, 2005, opposite Felicity Huffman, and Taylor Sheridan's Wind River, 2017, opposite Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen. Oh, I did see that movie. I didn't realize Taylor Sheridan wrote that movie. That's interesting. That was it's a mystery movie set on an Indian reservation. So that was interesting. Sheridan subsequently cast Green in 2 of his series for Paramount Plus, 1883, and most recently Tulsa King. Green's TV series credits also include series regular roles on Wolf Lake, Defiance, and Marvel's Echo. Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I'm sorry. And recurring stints on Northern Exposure, Lonesome Dove, the series, Being Erica, Longmire, Goliath, and American Gods. In addition to his Oscar nomination, Green is a Grammy, Gemini, and Canadian Screen Award winner, an Independent Spirit nominee. He also starred on Canada's he has a star on Canada's Walk of Fame. Earlier this year, received the Governor General's Performing Arts Award in his native country. Fitting, one of Green's final roles was on FX's acclaimed series Reservation Dogs, which built on his legacy of breaking barriers for Indigenous talent in Hollywood. Okay, well, rest in peace.
So I, when you sent this to me or somebody tagged me in this earlier in the week. It may have been Nate. I'm not sure. You guys are great about getting the news to us throughout the week. But I was like, I don't think I know this guy. And then I'm reading, the article, And I'm looking at his face. I'm like, okay, he does kind of look familiar. And then I'm looking at his IMDb listing. I'm like, okay, I've seen like a bunch of these movies. And I realized, okay, this is one of those character actors that I've seen in a whole bunch of things and never even realized and didn't know by name, Now, flash forward to like midweek. I think I was talking about it a little bit during one of my liquid lunches. I had a really rough night getting to sleep one night, and I threw on a movie on Tubi based on, you've seen them, the shorts on YouTube or that come up in X or whatever, and it's like a little scene from a movie, and it kind of gets your you get interested in it, and I'm like, okay, now I got to see what this movie is. I look up this movie, come to find out, I'm about 2/3 of the way into it, and boom, there's Graham Greene, and I'm like, what a crazy coincidence. Now I'm going to tell you what the movie was. I'm going to tell you what the movie was. It was probably one of his last roles, or certainly one of his most recent roles. Not saying it was a great movie, but he was good in it. It was a movie called V for Vengeance from 2022, a very low-budget vampire film. And he plays a Native American, it's got to be Native American because it's set in the U.S. West. Mm-hmm. And he's one of the vampire hunters. And I was like, man, what a crazy darn coincidence. By the way, that particular movie available for free on Tubi if you're interested.
Tubi's got good stuff.
Yeah, a lot of these movies, like I say, that you go, oh, okay, that looks like a good movie. Then you're scrolling, trying to find someone who comments and says, this is from such and such movie, because they never tell you up front,
Yeah. But, yeah, well, they never tell you. Well, what else is new? But,
right.
Rest in peace. And, like I said, his work will live on. And, talk about a career, I have to say.
Yep.
Next up is, this is a behind the scenes person, but not Bruce Campbell, but Bruce Campbell mourns the death of Evil Dead 2 writer Scott Spiegel. The 1987 film Evil Dead 2 stands as a landmark in horror cinema, a wildly inventive and influential work that defied genre conventions. Serving as both a sequel and a quasi-remake of the first Evil Dead, the movie blends grotesque horror with slapstick comedy, creating a unique tone that would inspire a generation of filmmakers. In addition, its chaotic energy and groundbreaking practical effects help solidify it as a cult classic with a lasting legacy. As it turns out, even movies with the smallest of budgets are the result of a labor of dozens of creatives. While star Bruce Campbell and director Sam Raimi are often the primary figures credited with film success, they were part of a tight-knit group of Michigan filmmakers who brought the vision to life. One of the key architects of its celebrated madness was co-writer Scott Spiegel, a longtime friend and collaborator of both Raimi and Campbell, who died at the age of 67. This is a personal loss Campbell said on X following the news of his friend's passing. Scott Spiegel was a huge part of my formative years back in Michigan, from Sunday school to being stock boys together to Evil Dead 2, which Scott co-wrote. I can't look in the rearview mirror without seeing this unique guy doing cheap gags. I'm grateful for the treasure trove of happy memories. Keep shemping, Scott. Campbell's message nods to the term fake shemp in the credits of Evil Dead films, which became an inside joke referring to the various friends and crew members, often Spiegel himself, who would stand in for actors in the background. The term is a nod to their shared love of the Three Stooges, which famously starred Shemp Howard before his passing. Huge fan of the Evil Dead movies, especially Evil Dead 2. I think most of our generation are. I'm sure you've seen it, right? Evil Dead 2?
Oh, yeah.
Very funny, very creepy. In fact, it's one of the best horror comedies I ever made, I think. Because it is a horror movie, don't get me wrong. But there's also... there's some great humor in it, too.
I have said this about The Evil Dead. I've said this about even Nightmare on Elm Street. A lot of these movies... Sometimes the scariest movies are also very funny.
Yes.
There is a great synergy between horror and humor. The story beats are very, very similar. And there's just like salty and sweet go well together, one brings out the other. I think there's something to be said for chuckling uncomfortably when you're scared, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. There's scenes in that movie like with the hand when his hand gets possessed and he
Yeah.
starts bashing plates over his head, and then
Right.
he has to saw his own hand off, but then the hand is still crawling around. And when he's
Right.
trying to shoot at it, it gives him the finger. Remember that? And it was
Right.
like, I'm just there's so much. You know, we'll do a good old days on Evil Dead at some point.
I think that would be a good idea, especially this time of year.
Come October, I think we'll have to touch on Evil Dead. Big fan of those movies, especially Evil Dead 2, classic movie. If you've not seen it before, you're in for a treat. Just check it out. You don't have to see the first one, though. I could argue. I'll get into it when we do Good Old Days. You can watch it too, okay?
Yeah.
And because it is a sequel, but then you can also see it as a remake, and I'll explain why people fight over which it is. And I saw Evil Dead on stage at my local community theater.
Get out, really? That's cool.
There's an Evil Dead musical, and they did it, and it was the most bizarre thing this Florida theater put on, because there is an Evil Dead play out there, and I don't know if they modified it for us, but apparently there was a splatter section where if you were like the first girls, you might get hit with fake blood, so don't sit there. And it was, the first act is Evil Dead 1, and then act 2 was Evil Dead 2, and it's funny when the main actor comes out, where are all the bodies of your friends that got killed? He says, yeah, it's almost like they never existed or something. Like the actor says,
which is a reference to what you were talking about with those two movies. Yeah.
So it's very clever how the
yes.
the first act is the first movie, the second act is an abbreviation of the second movie. It was cool. Troy saw the musical Evil Dead, and it part 1 and 2. Yeah, it might. I think the one I saw was based on that too. Did I watch Ash versus the Evil Dead? Yes, I did, and I love Ash versus the Evil Dead. If you thought Ash was stupid in Evil Dead and Army of Darkness, you haven't seen anything. He's dumber on the Ash versus the Evil Dead show. It's like on The Simpsons how Homer. Whoa.
How what?
I hear a fan going. Oh, never mind. Okay. You okay?
Yeah, that's on my end. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah, it's not that bad when it's a little hum. It just seemed it was very loud. That's all. Hello? You still there?
Yes, I am. But like I said, I'm going to mute when I'm not talking.
No, now it's fine. It's not that loud.
Okay.
You can leave it on. Okay. It just got very loud for a second there. But moving on to the big news of the night. Following up on our original talk, Knight Rider movie rumored to launch Airwolf and $6 billion man shared universe.
Yep.
So this is tying back. So apparently there is an upcoming Knight Rider movie. Let me read this. The upcoming Knight Rider movie from Cobra Kai creators may be more than just a reboot, with new rumors suggesting it could be a shared universe that includes Airwolf and the $6 billion man. On the Tachyon Pulse podcast, it's claimed that Universal is developing a plan that connects multiple 80s properties, as Universal owns all 3 IPs. According to the rumor, the studio is starting with the Knight Rider movie before expanding into projects involving Airwolf and the $6 billion man. Notice how they're calling it the $6 billion man.
Well, there is inflation after all.
And we agree they must keep the Airwolf theme music. Yeah, they have to keep the Airwolf theme music. They have to keep the
if they're smart, what they will do is for individual projects, they will use that music, and when they combine, the composer will use elements of each of their themes throughout the incidental music.
You think so?
That's what I would do anyway.
All right. Well, I guess. The idea reportedly began during the writers and directors strikes, when Universal executives looked at reviving several dormant franchises. Now with Cobra Kai Rep, the creative team of John Hurwitz, Hayden Schlossberg, and Josh Held is said to be pushing the concept forward. Instead of a traditional theatrical run, the project may go directly to streaming. The plan would see Knight Rider film debut on Peacock in the U.S., with international rights handled by Netflix. A release isn't expected until early 2027. Okay, so they're already talking about a streaming release.
Yep. Yep.
Guys, stop
Absolutely.
doing that, man. This is
Well,
why. Okay.
well, we'll have to get into this more
Oh,
as
these are going to be
well.
shows.
Yeah. Well, the first one will be a movie. So
Like a TV movie, because it said it could lead into a 10-episode series, eventually spinning off into Airwolf and $6 Billion Man.
if they're smart, they'll do what they did back in the late 70s and early 80s. They have a theatrical release like they did for Buck Rogers and Battlestar Galactica, and that's basically their pilot. And then, in the next season, they start into their so-called TV series. Let's face it, TV is dead. It's all streaming now. That is the equivalent of network television.
Yeah, Snarky J
What's
had
going to
comment
happen
thing
is
on it.
we're going to start seeing, actually Valiant Renegade had a video about it just today, where it looks like there's a new streaming war happening, where it's going to become, instead of everybody having their own proprietary streaming services, that's going to start going away, and you're going to start getting down to like 2 and 3 that are going to license from everyone else, and we'll get back to some sort of a blending of network television and the old cable model, and you will subscribe directly to the three.
So it'll be the big three all over
streamings.
again.
Yeah, exactly.
So the more things change, the more things stay the same.
Exactly, which is why I don't understand why they have to go through such birth pains every time they
idiots.
reinvent the reel.
Because you have people in suits that get hired who pretend like they know what they're doing, and they don't, and they cost the companies a lot of money. They get golden
only to
parachutes
learn the same lessons over and over and over again. Yes.
Kit Airwolf and the Bionic. The report adds the crossover will be tied together by AI technology. Kit Airwolf and the Bionic upgrades in the $6 Billion Man will share a similar AI-based system, setting the stage for an overarching villain rooted in artificial intelligence. As the YouTuber notes, with AI increasingly in the spotlight, the storyline could lean into more grounded but futuristic take, making the connection between the properties feel more seamless.
Yeah.
Cars are still in the discussion. The Tachyon Pulse podcast also touched on the ongoing debate of what car will serve as the new Kit. The Tesla Roadster and Dodge Charger EV are both being considered, with the final choice depending on sponsorship deals. Interesting. Universal has long struggled to revive its 80s action brands, but combining Knight Rider, Airwolf, and the $6 Billion Man into a shared universe could be a way of finally making them resonate with modern audiences. The Cobra Kai creators had great success reviving the Karate Kid, so hopefully they can do it again. Now, I will say having them behind this gives me hope for this endeavor.
I agree.
So I thought these were going to be theatrical movies, though, but I guess they're making it more like a limited streaming series, like a Stranger Things or something like that, right?
I wonder if this is like, because this is so ambitious. And if they're following the model of Cobra Kai anyway,
you could lead into a movie too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what I don't want is. I felt like this whole idea with the MCU of, let's do a series, let's do a movie, let's do a series, and it never quite gelled, because you have to have all these things seemingly having to have impacts on each other. Originally, the movie universe would just ignore the TV series, so Jessica Jones and Daredevil and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they would casually mention the stuff in the movies, and then the movies wouldn't even bring up these characters at all. So
Tree Rock Creations, welcome by the way, says this universe is just an excuse to have plot devices. It will not be characters with arcs. It will be all action. I disagree. Again, this is being done by the same guys that did Cobra Kai. Think about it. Cobra Kai had great character arcs. It had brilliant character arcs. Character arcs that started in the source material 30-some years ago. I fully expect them to do the same thing now.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed on this, but I am going to say this. What's going on with the Mark Wahlberg $6 Billion Man project, which apparently that's been what's keeping a lot of the $6 Billion Man stuff on the ground, because he's involved, but then his agent is holding things up, and I don't know if they're still planning to have him attached to the $6 Billion Man, or if they're trying to get rid of him and go in a different direction. I don't know.
I will bet you that what they're going to do is they're going to say, look, nothing is gelled. This isn't happening. We're going to go ahead with this other thing, and you can be an executive producer on it.
Okay. I remember the Bionic Woman TV show that they made, which was a casualty of a writer's strike, because I think that's what killed that show. Remember that? It was by the Battlestar Galactica people.
There was the
I like
$6
the
Million
actress.
Man.
Yeah.
Lindsay Wagner, yes.
No, the one on the remake of the Bionic Woman. They did a new Bionic Woman show.
Yeah. She was
English
a British
actress.
actor
Yes.
that appeared in an episode of
Doctor Who. Yeah.
But the
and Katie Sackhoff as the original Bionic Woman who went nuts, right? And
exactly.
She was being set up as the villain of the show. Yes.
Again, I think that one suffers from not having any connection to the original.
Right.
You got to really stick the landing, or it's not going to work. But one of the problems that the $6 Million Man and the Bionic Woman had was, again, this comes down to rights issues, where one studio started them both, and then they split off to separate networks. Same thing happened. Well, Wonder Woman actually moved networks, which is the same thing that happened to the Bionic Woman. And if you split up, related IPs, you end up with a problem later down the line. So, yeah.
We'll see. If anyone can pull this off, it's the Cobra Kai guys. I'll say that. That's who I would put behind this. I don't like this whole. It's all streaming again, though. I was hoping for big budgeted movies. Maybe we're just getting away from movies. I don't know.
Here's the thing, though. The big budgets are in streaming now.
I know they are. I know.
They are bigger budgets than they were for.
I should probably look at this as modern, like modern.
Yes.
Streaming shows like Taylor.
It is an upgrade.
Money, yes.
It is definitely an upgrade from standard television, but it is like television as opposed to feature films. And again, I do feel like we have had some great successes with streaming series, because there are some things that work better as a series than they do as a film. If you make it a standalone film, you got to chop it up so much, or you got to squeeze so much in. Don't do that.
Universal could negotiate with Mark Wahlberg to get him to release the rights back to the original production studio. I'm assuming something like that is going on in the scenes right now. He really wanted to be the Bionic Man, though. That was like a wish list thing for him. So I don't know what's going on now. But
yeah.
All right. Wait, does that mean we'll get an evil version of the Bionic Man if the AI takes over his mind, says Jesse Guardo? Well, wasn't there a character on the original Bionic Man show who was a doctor that was angry about the Bionic Man program because he wanted to focus on robots?
So, yes. And that's
so maybe that would be where the villain comes from.
That's what led to the John Saxon character that was a robot, which was the inspiration for Maskatron, the very successful enemy toy. But then again, there was also as I recall, there was another, and I'm drawing a blank on the character's name, but there was another Bionic Man. I believe he was like the $7 Million Man or something like that.
He was more. They spent more money on him, but he was evil. Yes.
Yeah.
And Sasquatch also was another villain on the show,
which was an alien robot. Yes.
Okay. Well, anyway, not the actual Sasquatch. He wouldn't do such a thing. Yeah. Can we go back to the other article? I'll just stay here.
I know, right?
I don't want to talk
because now you're getting into. Oh, let's charge you more and give you less.
A few weeks back before Sony announced the price increase, I was actually going to try to tip my hat off them, saying maybe they're trying to turn the ship around. But new PlayStation 5 Digital Edition will launch this month with less storage. A new report claims that a new PlayStation 5 Digital Edition will be released later this month with reduced storage capacity. The report outlines the console will be the revision CFI 2100, will still retail at the standard €499. This is for England right now, but as we know, things that start in England, they come over here, or Europe, I should say. PlayStation 5 console revisions usually include other minor changes, such as performance and cooling. Yeah, they actually... In prior consoles, they would sometimes actually do improvements with later consoles. This was the thing. But the report outlines that they haven't been able to find any information suggesting these changes as far as cooling and performance. But the report comes from data miner JSON Sniffer Billabitcon of Deal Labs. What? JSON sniffer Bill Coon of D Labs. All right. Who has an accurate history of scraping yet unannounced information and data from store websites, therefore believe the information to be legitimate. Let's get to the okay. The new console design has a detachable disk drive allowing viewers to buy the console as digital only, which can be upgraded to have the disk drive at a later date. So I'll give Sony credit that you can at least, if you want a disk drive later, you can buy it and attach it, rather than it being fixed. I'm trying to show them some grace. Okay, this new console release made production shipping costs for Sony a lot cheaper, and since then the console has gone through a couple of marketed changes to continue its slimline production costs. But here's the kicker: to reduce the price, the console storage capacity is going down from 1 terabyte down to 825 gigabytes, all for the same price as the prior model that had 1 terabyte. I'm of the belief that modern consoles should have 2 terabyte hard drives minimal. They probably need higher than that. And now we're going from 1 terabyte down to 825. And how do you add storage to this thing? Is it proprietary? I know for the new Xbox it was proprietary storage, and
I can guarantee you that if you go into it and try to do anything with it, you'll get bricked.
No, you can't put stuff on the inside. That's what sucks, because the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 3, you could upgrade the hard drive yourself. I did it myself. I gave myself a bigger hard drive for the PlayStation 3, and I did it myself. And trust me, I'm not tech savvy, but I was able to do it, and I was able to do it for the PlayStation 4 as well. They actually made it so if you wanted to go out and buy yourself a bigger hard drive and install it in your PlayStation 4, you could do it internally with your own tools. Kind of like how people used to be able to do stuff with old cars on their own too before they. But I hear with the new ones you can't. Now you can buy external storage, and maybe people in the chat might know better than me. I assume, but once the current 1 terabyte hard drives sell out, the move suggests that Sony plans to release another PlayStation 5 console in the future with higher storage capacity. I guess they're talking about the main consoles, but what do you think of Sony releasing a new PlayStation 5 with less storage for the same price? I think it sucks. That's what I think of it. There's nothing, and I guess I'm sort of boomer phrasing. Yes, thank you. I'm just could also do it for the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One. I don't know. I never tried it for the Xbox One. I had an Xbox One S, and I always felt like you couldn't actually go in there. I was told maybe the original Xbox One, but the follow-up model, I don't think you could go inside, at least not with soldering stuff in there. I don't know, but maybe I was mistaken there. But what I eventually did was, a lot of these consoles would let you use any old external hard drive, so I would just buy those, and if I needed more memory, I would just buy a larger external hard drive. Now I think they're going with proprietary storage. I know the Xbox One is. The good news is I think the proprietary stuff they have actually works better than a simple external, because it's, hard drives can be unreliable, right? They can break down. I think what they're using now is better. But the new game like Battlefield 6, Black Ops, whatever number, and GTA 6 are going to take up a lot of space. Well, that's the problem. A lot of these new games you buy take up a lot of hard drive space. Even if you buy them physically, they tend to download to the console itself from the disc, because they can't really run off the disc like they used to. And if you buy it digitally, I remember when I upgraded my PlayStation 4 to 2 terabytes, I downloaded the newest Final Fantasy. I don't know if it was 15, was it? And I did a few other games, and I realized I'm out of storage already, because that Final Fantasy game took up so much room. I was like, this thing's a memory sucker, okay, a storage sucker. So I had to then go out and buy an external anyway. I didn't want to try installing another hard drive on the inside. I felt, let's just leave it alone. You there?
Yeah. This is ridiculous.
I have an Xbox you can use an external drive on. Yeah, the Xbox One you could use an external drive on. I'm assuming the 360 you could as well. And it works okay. It's funny. I have PlayStation branded external hard drives, and I even use one of those on my Xbox, which is weird because it has the PlayStation symbol on it, but I use it on the Xbox. Yes, Wallace, we know that Atari released a new version of the Atari 2600 Berserk game with added synthesized voice. Yes, that's the Atari 700 Plus. A few weeks ago, we talked about the Atari 2600 Plus Pac-Man edition that's coming out. I think that piqued deleted scenes interest. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Moving on to. Well, if you want gaming memorabilia, in Lego form, I thought this was kind of neat.
This one just kind of boggled my mind. I was like, seriously?
No, they've done it. They have a Lego Atari 2600. They have a Lego NES complete with an actual TV that hooks up to it, and you can like do a crank and it moves Mario across the screen. And they're doing a Lego Game Boy in the fall as well. And now this is a cheaper. This is going to be a Lego Sega Genesis controller. Lego's officially available the Lego Sonic the Hedgehog set, but with a slight twist on what you expect the theme. It's a Sega Genesis controller. Is due to release on September 8th, and that means it's coming out tomorrow. And I can confirm this is GW. This is from this website, Brick Builder, I believe. It's a blog. Clocking in at just 260 pieces and launching partway into the month. The former seems likely. Okay, but okay, if you can take a look at it though, this is a great looking little display piece that can be showcased in two distinct ways. On the front, you get a brick-built Genesis or Mega Drive controller, which can be customized with stickers to accurately reflect the Sega system that's appropriate for your region. They're saying that because you put the proper stickers. If it's North America, it was the Genesis. In Europe, it was called the Mega Drive.
Right.
They couldn't call it the Mega Drive over here. I think there was a rights issue. Some other company in North America called something else the Mega Drive. Then they came up with the title Sega Genesis, and the rest is history. That's why it's different over here. But the secret sauce in the Lego controller is on the back, where a miniature Sonic the Hedgehog Green Hill Zone scene is hidden. The micro-scale build looks like using the same one-to-one sprite spin-dashing Sonic tile that first showed up 70s theme Sonic Command truck, along with some yellow studs for rings, simple palm trees, and a requisite loop-de-loop. I think it looks neat. If you look closely, you can see the Sonic scene on the back on the box. And I guess it looks like an actual controller. Now, you can't use it as an actual controller. What do you think?
Okay, well, there you go then. That would have been like over the top cool.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they did an Atari 2600 Lego set, which I don't know if it came with boxes you could also construct out of Legos. No, it had cartridges you could construct out of Legos, I think, for the games too.
Crazy.
So that was kind of neat, and it looked like the old school. How much? Geek Flag, this controller, I think $19.99, which I think is surprising because Legos are usually a lot more money than that. My only estimation is that this Lego set is not that big, but I assume it's the size of a regular Sega Genesis controller. The Game Boy is also coming out later this month. It's going to be $59.99, and it's going to look like the original Game Boy too. And you could put either a Mario scene on it or a Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening scene on it. So kind of neat. I mean, Lego's doing interesting stuff lately. I almost want to think, is this going to become a regular feature on the doing a Lego set? I don't know. Because we did Pirates of the Caribbean last week.
Yes, we did.
All right,
yes,
more television news. Sarah Michelle Gellar teases how Buffy reboot is honoring the show's original DNA. As Buffy
I don't have near as much faith in this as I do for the previous one we were talking about.
As Buffy the Vampire Slayer prepares to sharpen up the old stake for a new generation, some things remain the same. Sarah Michelle Gellar recently explained how Chloe Zhao's upcoming Hulu pilot preserves the show's original DNA after the supernatural teen drama ran for 7 seasons from 1997 to 2003 on the WB. Oh, I forgot. This is a 20th Century Fox property, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Which means Disney owns it.
Yep.
Okay. Fandoms like Buffy still resonate today because it's not just about the show, but about the community that's grown around it, Gellar told IGN. For me, the heart of Buffy was always about found family, that sense of belonging and being loved for who you are, and that's more important now than ever. That's what makes this new chapter so meaningful. It's not just revisiting the past, but honoring the show's original DNA, she added. The fact that people still carry such love for the show after all these years is increasingly special. Deadline exclusively revealed this week that Ryan Kiera Armstrong will play the new Slayer in the untitled Buffyverse project, which Gellar executive produces, in addition to reprising her titular role as Buffy Summers. The new character is described in cast materials as an introverted high school student. From the moment I saw Ryan's edition, I knew there was only one girl that I wanted by my side, Sarah said Gellar in a statement. To have the kind of emotional intelligence and talent at such a young age is truly a gift. The bonus is that her smile lights up the darkest room. I do not know who this person is.
Doesn't matter. All you need to know is Chloe Zhao has been put in charge of this.
What did she do? Was she She-Hulk?
She was. Didn't they have plans for her to do something Star Wars, something Marvel? Was she the one that was behind the? Oh, she was the Eternals in 2021. The Marvel film. A bunch of let's just say topical movies, message movies.
Wonderful. She's the one that did that one about the immigrant that crapped in a coffee can, that sort of thing, or the migrant that crapped in a coffee can, or whatever.
Was that Nomadland?
Yeah, I don't know. That was what Bill Maher made on a rant about Hollywood Hopeful, saying, you can make movies about something that don't preach at the. He was getting screaming at how preachy the Oscar nominees were that year. If Josh Whedon is not attached to the project, it's going to suck. Something else. Okay, let's get into this. Along with Gellar, Zhao, and Zuckerman, Dolly Parton is returning as an executive producer on the series. What?
Look, this was.
There's no Josh. Joss Whedon's not involved. He's not.
That's what I was going to say. This is going from Joss Whedon to Chloe Zhao, right? And it's going from 20th Century Fox to Disney. This is not going to be good.
20th Century Fox no longer exists. That's part of the reason why.
Well, yeah.
Oh, I'm terrified what's going to happen to the X-Files. I got a bad feeling about that one too. But no. I mean, say what you want. I know Joss Whedon got into trouble years ago, but this was always his show. This was his baby. So somebody else taking it on. I don't know what happened to that Firefly reboot they kept talking about doing. That was another one they were teasing years back, which nothing came to fruition on that. But I kind of think Buffy is a once in a lifetime thing, and I don't think they're going to be able to get it rolling again. I don't think it's going to work. Let me see. The production behind the scenes of this reboot is going to be all touchy-feely and about everybody's safe spaces, which is going to produce a bad product. I don't know. Yeah, you may not be wrong there. Okay. Any thoughts on this left, Troy?
No, I won't be watching this.
No, this is not going to be good. Okay. Moving on to... Kurt Russell joins Taylor Sheridan's Yellowstone spinoff, The Madison. It's weird. I've been watching the Taylor Sheridan show, Landman, recently, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit. If you are a big fan of Billy Bob Thornton, you'll get a kick out of the show because he basically plays a guy that just says what everybody else is thinking on his mind on the show. And it's an interesting series. And he also did Tulsa King, too. So, I don't know. Kurt Russell of Monarch Legacy of Monsters, that's an Apple series, has been cast as a series regular in the new Yellowstone drama spinoff, The Madison, from Taylor Sheridan, starring Michelle Pfeiffer. Ahead of the show's first season, where we hear the show will receive an early renewal for a sophomore season. I wonder if... Interesting. So I guess she's the lead actress on that too. The Madison is a heartfelt exploration of grief and human connection, following a New York City family in the Madison River Valley of central Montana. Russell joins the previously announced cast of Patrick J. Adams, Elle Chapman, Matthew Fox, Bo Garrett, Amia Miller, Elena Pollack, Ben Schneitzer, Rebecca Spence, Daniel Vasanova, and Kevin Zegers. The series is executive produced by Sheridan, David G. Glasser, and a bunch of other names. I don't know. It's probably good.
I was going to say this is two things that we've talked about here. Taylor Sheridan, right? This project with Kurt Russell, and that Knight Rider shared universe thing. things that sound pretty positive. Like we might actually start getting some good entertainment going forward.
I've not watched Yellowstone or its spin-offs. I've heard good things. That probably is the modern popular the show that the old-fashioned, if there is still a water cooler show, it would have been Yellowstone, which I argued is probably a modern Western. And to be fair, Tulsa King and Landman also have like modern Western feels to it. The scope is different. For instance, Landman is about people drilling for oil and dealing with cartels and other things that are messing with the productions. And Tulsa King is about a New York mafia guy who's sent to Tulsa to set up shop. So it's kind of like the mob and Western mixed together. Do you understand? It's like the clashing of cultures. So, look, I don't know how this new show will be, but I like the cast. And it's got Michelle Pfeiffer. So It's like a lot of these class actors are finding roles on TV shows where because Hollywood's sort of ignoring them now, so now they can be on TV shows, I guess. So, okay.
Yeah.
All right. This one looks perhaps promising. Carrie Elways to get presidential and FX's very young Frankenstein pilot. Carrie Elways, Robin of Men in Tights, Saw is really... I'm sorry. Princess Bride, dude.
I know.
Saw in there. I mean, I listen. Saw movies are a guilty pleasure, but they're not for everyone, and that's not what I would be crediting him as. Was one of his big series.
If they had said both of those things, Saw and Princess Bride, that would make sense. Because let's face it, what is Young Frankenstein except a horror comedy? You want to get both in there.
The Princess Bride with saws. Like Pride and Prejudice with zombies.
Did it work?
My computer was making a lot of noise, so I took it out of the room, gave it a timeout.
It's okay.
Basically, my fan was going, and so it sounded like a dying something.
It wasn't that bad in the beginning, but then it got really loud in that one instance. That's the only reason.
Yeah, that's why I left the room.
To be fair, that's why I don't use my old computer on the streams either. That was getting loud.
Well, I've had this computer for a while, and I've already replaced the battery on it, and I just got the new fan with heatsink today. I was going to replace it tomorrow, but since it was making so much noise, I said I took it out of the room, replaced the heatsink on there, because yes, I can do that. And I'm a girl, but I can do that sort of thing.
And it's working now?
This is why you married her.
Hear it?
I don't hear it. I don't know that it's on because it's facing away from me. So
it's on.
Wow.
If the up, it's on.
Very good. You did it.
Yes.
Congratulations, Netter. Very good.
Yes, there's still a hum because this isn't quite the right fan and heatsink for it. But the next one, the proper one doesn't come until later this week or next week. So I figure this will work for now.
Okay. Well,
I don't even hear the hum now.
Thank you.
Okay, back to very young Frankenstein.
Yes.
Did we talk about this before?
No.
Because I don't. Before you sent me this article, I had not even heard about this very young Frankenstein.
We did a good old days on Young Frankenstein earlier in the year. Okay, we did a good old days on it because it was its anniversary, so I figured it's its 50th anniversary. Let's talk about it. But no, Very Young Frankenstein. This is new. I never heard of this. Very Young Frankenstein is inspired by Mel Brooks' classic 1974 film Young Frankenstein. Brooks is executive producing the effects project alongside a trio of creatives from FX's What We Do in the Shadows: Stephanie Robinson, who would serve as writer and showrunner, Oscar winner Taika Waititi, who would direct the pilot, and Garrett Bosch, who also executive producing our Brooks producing partner Kevin Salter, History of the World Part 2 and Spaceballs 2, and Young Frankenstein producer Michelle Gruskoff, 20th Century Television Studio. Spaceballs 2, that was the one that was the Brooks follow-up that we had heard about, not this.
There you go. There you go.
Is there a...
Nate's given Netter and Atta Girl for $2. Thank you, my friend.
There you go. Thank you.
Super appreciate that.
So,
but they're saying the girls can't do things. It's like,
that's bull. Yeah, there's a lot of things Netter can do. I
changed the battery in my laptop. I just changed the fan and heat sink in my laptop. It's like, I can figure this stuff out. It's not that difficult. But thank you, Nate. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. But I speaking of Nate, by the way, going back to his previous comment, no. Young Frankenstein, no. Not needed, won't be good. Now, I was initially going to push back on that, but as you kept reading the article, the fact that Mel Brooks is producing it is not enough. If they have it being showrun by Taika Waititi, and
Okay.
if you also take into account History of the World Part 2, I heard was not all that great. So I'm kind of thinking, how much does Mel Brooks actually have
I don't know.
input in this? Probably not a lot. It's just money for him.
I've not seen Taika Waititi's What We Do in the Shadows movie. That's where he got his start. I heard it was funny because it's like a fake documentary about vampires, like Anne Rice style vampires, I think. But I've not
Actually,
seen it.
Jesse has a great idea.
What?
Can we get a comedy version of The Wolfman? I think that's an untapped. I mean,
that's overdue. A werewolf comedy is overdue.
We've had Young Frankenstein. We've had a couple of different good Dracula parodies. We need a good werewolf parody.
Because what's the big joke of the Wolfman? How he says, I'm gonna. He has to off himself because he doesn't want to kill any more people when the moon turns full, right? So that could be part of the comedy, right? Of him trying to.
There's that. There's all kinds of things like, needing a flea collar, all kinds of things they could do with it,
Young Frankenstein is a parody of the horror genre, drawing inspiration from Mary Shelley's 1818 novel Frankenstein. No, really? Horror comedy star Gene Wilder, who co-wrote the screenplay with Brooks. Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. It's interesting. Cary Elwes is going to be in this as the president, and he is a Mel Brooks alumni. He was in Robin Hood Men in Tights, remember?
That's true.
Yeah,
and unlike some Robin Hoods, he can speak with an English accent.
I get that joke in there. The reason why I'll actually, in some weird way, defend Costner not using English accent in Men in Tights, I argue if an actor can't do an English accent, don't have him do one, because it's, let's face, whatever English accent people will be using is not the English accent they had in England at that time anyway, right? So, I mean...
That is an excellent point, but there should be consistency, too. Why is he the only one who doesn't have a British accent?
Because Hollywood, that's why.
Well, yes, but even, Christian Slater was able to affect a reasonable British accent. But the other thing, too...
And the actor who played Guy Gisborne talked like a pirate.
Well, yeah, good point. Which I'm not necessarily having a problem with. But Kevin Costner had bigger problems than just the accent. He was way too old for the role. So this
is a problem going on. Don't even get me started on the Ridley Scott Robin Hood with Russell Crowe. Oh, yikes. Yeah. That's when I knew something was wrong with Ridley Scott at that point. And Robin Hood is a revolutionary, and he's young. He's supposed to be young. That's the point.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's one of those movies. I really like the movie. I just don't like Costner in it.
Frankenstein was lightning in a bottle. No, it was lightning.
I see what you did there.
Very funny, man.
I see what you did there. Lightning in a bottle.
I don't know. I am kind of interested in the Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein that's coming out. That looks interesting.
I want to see that too.
But yeah, I don't know. This very young Frankenstein pilot. We'll see. It's another streaming series, though. It's another stinking streaming series. Troy, if we get a comedy version of The Wolfman, I hope it's the same writing level as Dracula Dead.
Well, let's revisit that after we hear how the new Naked Gun film turns out.
Remember Leslie Nielsen was in that. All right, moving on to... No!
No, and the article that comes after this does not make it any better.
No, I'm just... Okay, so... I heard... It's like Obi-Wan said in Star Wars, I heard billions of voices screaming and then silence. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Tomb Raider, Sophie Turner set as Lara Croft and Phoebe Waller-Bridge's Amazon series going into production. Oh, this thing's happening. I'm sure
listen.
Retroblasting has some thoughts on this.
Let's take this step by step.
No, I can't.
Tomb Raider, Sophie Turner set as Lara Croft, and I'm like... Chad Hodge, joins Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Screw it. I'm done. I'm out. You lost me at Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
It's over. Okay, it took a while for Prime Video's Tomb
No
Raider.
Fleabag Lara Croft for me.
This is terrible. Here's the thing. This. Why are they?
Okay, take a breath.
Like you got rid of the person in charge of
me.
Amazon that was making the stupid Prime, that was making the stupid decisions. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. It doesn't have to exist. Okay, let me read. It took a while, but Prime Video's Tomb Raider live action series is finally going into production. Some elements to save the fame. Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who had been attached from the get-go, is creator, writer, executive producer. That's great. So she's the one that kind of ended James Bond, and she ended Indiana Jones, and now she's going to end Lara Croft. So that's 3 for 3.
How many franchises can we put her in charge of so they can be destroyed? And honestly, guys, I'm telling you, we've seen it with so many, not only franchises but brands. We could talk about Bud Light. We could talk about Cracker Barrel. You know, we could talk about all these different brands and how they're being destroyed, and they're all being destroyed by the same kind of people.
Well, there was clapback on the Cracker Barrel thing, at least, so I don't know if we're going to see a switch.
There's now clapback on everything. This is why these companies are dying.
There's nothing clapback on this because it wasn't made yet. They could have just shelved the stupid thing. Okay, Sophie Turner.
If they throw a bunch of money into it, they will lose all of that money. You may as well just throw it into a furnace.
Sophie Turner, who entered negotiations last November after testing Lara Croft, is confirmed for the high-profile role previously played in the big screen by Angelina Jolie and Alicia Vikander. The new additions include Chad Hodge as executive producer, co-showrunner of Waller. What?
Because whenever I think Lara Croft, I think Sansa frickin' Stark. Yes, exactly.
Well, she's an English actress, fine. I know people have complained about her acting ability, especially in those X-Men movies she did. I don't like her whole public profile with the whole kind of nasty divorce from one of the Jonas brothers I think she was married to, and then she's flaunting this other guy she's marrying in front of him, and it was just, it left a bad taste in my mouth, and and now Phoebe Waller-Bridge attached to this. This is like 2 strikes, and the third strike, frankly, is Amazon because they've anything geek quote geek culture related they touch turns to crap.
Yeah.
So Phoebe Waller-Bridge
Nate
has
makes a
no
great
talent.
point.
Yes, go ahead. Yeah.
I don't understand why people keep giving her a writing job. I'll tell you why. Watch the first episode of Fleabag. I believe it's her first scene in it. And that's why.
What, boobs?
No. Let's just say she really, 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 really likes Obama when she's alone in her bed.
Yes, that was on Fleabag, the pilot, which was like Girls, but worse somehow. That was like the British Girls. That's how I would describe it. I watched the pilot. Correct me if I'm wrong, but in the pilot for that, her friend's drunk. She doesn't help her friend get home, and her friend gets hit by a car, and like there's no like response the next day that her friend got murdered. I thought that was bizarre in the show. I mean, this is just. I'm sorry.
It tells you a lot about the kind of people that would watch a show like that.
Like it's a joke or something. I didn't get it.
Oh, how funny that is! Can you imagine?
You kind of abandoned your friend when you should have called her a cab or something. At least I'm just saying. The series was officially greenlit in May 2024, with Turner identified for the lead 6 months later. Okay. You know what? This is probably the last stab of the prior person in charge, but now they're going to go ahead with it. I thought there was no news updates, but speculation about creative issues on the series reportedly went through 2 writers' rooms that didn't result in approved scripts. They don't have scripts now. They'll be shooting the episode, and there won't be scripts yet. I guarantee you.
I'm not going to bring the comment up, but deleted scenes said exactly the sentence I was thinking of saying, and then I censored myself.
Yes. You hear that comment come in last call. Troy will say it then. Anyway,
after a few drinks, yeah.
Yeah, she's not a good actress, even worse writer. She was the worst part of Bond and Dial of this. Yes, I know. They stuck her on both No Time to Die, which was
I do like that he calls it Dial of Dysentery. I'm glad that's
absolutely
spot on.
terrible. And then we also had, granted, I don't know how much she contributed to No Time to Die, but she was a writer on it. I don't think she was the only thing wrong with that movie, though. I'll say that. And then she was on Dial of Destiny. That was terrible. And now Tomb Raider. And I don't understand. They keep wanting to do Lara Croft, but they don't want to do Lara Croft, if you catch my drift.
Right.
They're embarrassed of her. Like she's this big embarrassing thing.
Okay,
like,
look, guys.
It started out as being a character the feminists loved in the 90s, and then suddenly they started attacking her like in the last 10 years ago. She went under fire.
It is not a difficult formula. If they wanted to do a successful Lara Croft, they follow the stories from the games. They cast Sydney Sweeney, spend a lot of time and energy teaching her the accent, and boom, you've got it.
Well, they're not going to do that. And I'll say this: the actress, oddly enough, we'll get to this next article, who played her on the animated series, was Haley Atwell. Haley Atwell would have been perfect as Lara Croft. Now, granted, she's older now.
She absolutely would have. Yeah.
She had the right look for it. That's as far as I'll go. Okay, and
the accent and the
accent
attitude
too. Yeah. But I don't care about the. I've already heard stuff about this Amazon Blade Runner series too that has me just no. Oh God, no. I'll tell you after the stream. Netflix's animated Tomb Raider series is ending with its second season. Yes, the Netflix has shared a pair of updates about its animated Tomb Raider show. The second season of Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft will air on the streaming service on December 11th. That means it never got renewed, because they always do 2 seasons of an animated series when they're on Netflix. They never just do 1 season.
So this was the lesbian cross cartoon, right?
Yes, where they had her have an ex-girlfriend, which they've always hinted at, because they don't want to make the female character that was popular with a lot of male gamers. They don't want to have her like men or be attracted to men, even though in the original game she was.
It's got to be female gaze.
However, that second season will be the final one for the project. Legendary Television behind the show, which premiered on October 2024 on Netflix, and stars Haley Atwell of MCU famous as the titular Tomb Raider. Interesting choice of words there.
They never say eponymous. They always say titular.
Yes. If you simply can't get enough of Lara and her adventures in archaeology, you have other options.
Go back to the old games.
Yeah, go back to the old games. You know what's funny? I like I said, I don't know if we'll ever do a Tomb Raider for Last Call stream, but we'd have to get Michael on if we did one. But
we would,
I for the Evercade, and also recently released for consoles, they released all the old Tomb Raider games. And in Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation, you know how that ends? It ends with, I'm going to spoil the game. It ends with her stopping the Egyptian god Set from destroying the world that got unleashed from the tomb, but then the pyramid collapses on her, and it's presumed that she's dead, and they never really followed it up, because they rebooted the series. My gosh, that should just be it. Tomb Raider has tomb haters. Well, I think for whenever these concepts came up of how women are portrayed in gaming, Lara Croft became the punching bag.
These people that are creating this stuff and writing this stuff, they don't care about these properties. They don't care about the profitability of these properties. They are how can we get Marxist ideas into all of them and basically ruin everything that you ever loved.
Boomer animation is usually ordered by number of episodes. Let's say they order 20 episodes. It always makes them season 1, season. Yes. They just split it up into season 1.
You know who else would make a great Tomb Raider?
Who?
Maria with T and Telly. Welcome.
Welcome to the chat.
My sister.
There you go.
Welcome. We're just talking about the end of one Tomb Raider and the beginning of another. And maybe we just wanted to end at this point, because they keep... by the way, guys, you can buy the comics reprints from the 90s. That's another way to enjoy Tomb Raider. And
I will answer this question. Lara Croft became a punching bag? Where are they punching her? They're punching her in the flea bag.
Okay. Anyway, moving on to. Oh, for the love of. I'm not spending a lot of time on this. Live-action Call of Duty film is on the way. Call of Duty makers have struck a deal to turn the video game into a live-action film. The series, launched in 2003, is one of the most popular in the world and regularly tops the annual bestseller charts on consoles and PC. Publisher Activision has announced it will work with the movie studio Paramount to turn the game into a blockbuster designed to thrill its massive global fan base. There has been no indication of potential storylines or cast members, but Paramount CEO David Ellison said, as a lifelong fan of Call of Duty, this is truly a dream come true. Okay, chat. I don't know. Is anyone excited about a Call of Duty movie? Say yes. No. From my understanding, especially these later games, they don't have much in the way of good plots. I don't. It's a game you buy to play with other people online and shoot at them. I know there's single player modes. I know people love Modern Warfare. That was the big one back in the day. But
I think what Nate was trying to say is that Call of Duty hasn't been good since number 3.
Yeah, I don't know if that was Modern Warfare or if number 3 was still World War II setting back in the day. I did get a couple of the Black Ops games because they. I remember when Black Ops came out. Yeah, all these Call of Duty games, they're always fighting all these enemies, like certain German groups in World War II or modern terrorists in the Middle East. And it says, well, with Call of Duty Black Ops, I think it's time the Americans were the bad guys in the game because it was all like CIA stuff, Castro, 1960s, like. Oh my word! Is there a segment where you get brainwashed by Castro and you have to take out President Kennedy? I don't know in the game. I don't remember. It was just. I don't know about doing a movie on this. Maybe it'll be about a Call of Duty player that gets sucked into real life World War II and has to use his gaming skills to. I mean, what is this? You could have Jack Black. You could have Jack Black in this one too, and he gets sucked back to World War II and has to fight actual soldiers. First Black Ops was awesome. Yeah, I to be fair, I did like Black Ops. There was a funny scene where they would do the Call of Duty something zombies, which I can't even mention on the stream. That's so stupid. But German World War II zombies, and mode. And in one of the modes, you would play as I think. You could play as one of 4 characters to fight off the zombies, and it was either Richard Nixon, John Kennedy, was it Robert McNamara, and Fidel Castro. I think those were the 4 people you could play as.
I think I'll take Kennedy. That one seems the most reasonable.
I know. I'm just, when you think of those. So it's like Captain and the Game Master. That'd be funny if that's what it was. I don't know. How do you make a movie? It's just going to be a war movie. That's what it is. You want to see a Call of Duty movie? Go see Saving Private Ryan. I mean that
I know,
Private
right?
Ryan, when Call of Duty was announced, it was said as Saving Private Ryan, the video game. I remember they did the Omaha
when I
Beach
first.
Thing. Yes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I played that whole Amazon Beach thing, and I'm like, this is exactly what is depicted in. Well, I mean, historically that's the way it was, but I mean, you can see it in Saving Private Ryan.
He's bringing up Kevin Spacey because Kevin Spacey actually played the villain in one of the Call of Duty games before the whole Me Too thing happened. It actually has a great speech in the beginning of the game where he goes, "The United States has tried installing democracy all over the world, and it hasn't worked one time." Like he says. It's like, this guy looks different than me. This guy's a different religion than me. It's like, and it never works. He was arguing against, I guess. I heard Spielberg wanted to direct a Call of Duty film, but they turned him down and went to. Are you joking?
Because why would you want to have Spielberg, who did Saving Private Ryan, do a Call of Duty movie? What do you want to make money or something? Heaven forbid.
Oh no. This is all about the money. He probably wasn't going to be able to pay enough, like Amblin or whatever couldn't pay enough for the license, so they went to Paramount. And now it's going to be a you know what? That's enough. That's all I need to know. They could have had Spielberg on this thing.
Yep.
You're thinking of Medal Honor Finest Hour. I am thinking about Medal Honor Finest Hour, but then I'd also heard that Call of Duty did the same thing in one of the earlier games. But again, I didn't play them, so maybe I'm mistaken. In fact, Call of Duty actually came about because I think. Did people who made Medal of Honor leave and go to Activision, and then they started over again with Call of Duty?
I don't know.
Was it some of the same programmers, if I remember? It's been so long. Again, not my series. It's okay if you like it, though. I just don't see it as a movie. Moving on to Digimon Hansu joins Henry Cavill in Highlander. More Highlander news.
Yeah.
We like Highlander. Two-time Academy Award nominee and frequent franchise player Digimon Hansu is the latest boldface name to join the cast of Highlander, Amazon MGM's remake of the 1980s cult classic. Henry Cavill is leading the cast that includes Russell Crowe and Marissa Abela, as well as David Bautista and Karen Gillan, the latter two who notably appeared with Hansu in Guardians of the Galaxy. The action fantasy, which hails from Amazon's MGM United Artists banners, is being directed by Chad Stahelski and is slated for a theatrical release. Principal photography is due to begin at the end of September. Cavill is playing Connor MacLeod, a medieval Scottish Highlander who discovers he is an immortal warrior with the help of swordsman named Ramirez, to be played by Russell Crowe. The titular Highlander battles other immortals across centuries until, as the line in the original 1986 movie exclaimed, "There can only be one." Hansu will play an immortal warrior from Africa. Like I said, I think that character was in the original movie too.
I'm assuming it's and he had way too small a role. I hope that if they're bothering to mention this casting, that he's going to have a slightly bigger role. Now, in fairness, I have no doubt he's not going to be the one, right?
Yes.
But
hopefully
he's got more of a role. Yeah, exactly. He's got to be the one that they establish the relationship as an old friend, and then when the Kurgan takes his head, you're angry.
Yeah, because he was a good guy. Hey, Boomer, say his name again. Yes, I know. Sometimes I have trouble with certain actors' name. I should look up pronunciations. But Horror Cat Dad, I'm actually interested in this remake. I am too. I think the cast is good.
And look, if you are truly objective and critical of the original Highlander franchise, there was some good, there was some bad, and it's the kind of franchise that would lend itself very well to being rebooted with a new cast, with a vision for it going all the way through. You skip over the Zeist bull crap and all of that kind of stuff, and plan it out in advance.
Hey.
Because we were talking about this before, when they did the first Highlander movie, it was just meant to be a one-off. And then they're like, hey, we got to do a sequel. And then they did, I don't know how much cocaine they did, but it was a psychotic second film. And then they're like, okay, screw that one. Let's do another sequel and forget that second one ever happened. And it was, and then they get a series going and everyone likes that. And, so this would be a great way to reboot it if they do it right.
Are they going to make 3 Highlander films? Basically, it's going to be the first 3 movies spread over 3 films. I don't know. It's interesting. I didn't know.
Well, like I said, they'll skip over the second one entirely.
No. What if they lean into Geist in the first movie? What are you going to do?
You know what? I bet it's a throwaway line. I bet they say so.
Are you from another planet? Like the modern girlfriend would say that, right? And he says no.
Yeah. It's like, because you have the whole bit where Connor asks Ramirez, where did all this come from? And it's a kind of magic, who knows? Do you ask the deer how he can run so fast, or the bird why he can fly? It just is. I could see him having a conversation with somebody, in the present day and exactly. Yes, I am an alien from the planet Zeist. Really? No, you idiot.
They're saying, though, this is turning into a mini Guardians of the Galaxy reunion, because this is another Guardians of the Galaxy alum.
Oh, yeah, because Batista, too. Yeah.
Batista, I think, did he have blue skin, as I recall, in Guardians? I'm not
like
sure.
a greenish blue skin.
No, like I said, although
there was nothing wrong with the Mario Van Peebles film. I liked it fine.
It was better than 2. You said at least it wasn't 2.
Which is not a high bar, but yes, it was.
I also thought it was interesting that even though he became mortal and couldn't still have children, he still adopted and started a family of his own by adopting.
Exactly.
I thought that was interesting, yeah. But,
exactly. And this whole idea that, was it in, which movie was it? Was it in Endgame? Where she is now, he adopted her, raised her, and now she's an older woman, and he enlists her help in liquidating his assets and everything because he's, got a disappear change and whatnot, and he's got to say goodbye to her because he may not be coming back, and she may not live long enough to see him again if he does. And it's really, really heartbreaking. Yeah. She's a character that has this wonderful, wonderful arc too. Yeah.
Keep my fingers crossed on this one. I think the casting. I like the casting. So
yeah. That's right. Karen Gillan was another one that was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right, she was Nebula. Yeah. So moving on to another video game adjacent thing.
Yes. So this is
right
I
up
put in
your
the
alley.
marketing section. This is a licensed decanter and whiskey glasses in the style of a Atari 2600 joystick. I joked in the description. I said Troy needs a new decanter. Netter looked at me and I'm like, I'm just kidding. I am not going to go putting my booze. I actually don't even like the shape of this for
maybe not
liquor
the most
connoisseur reasons. Yes, exactly.
Plus, you're not an Atari guy, so
when it comes to the games, I kind of am, but not like I would need the accoutrement.
That's what I mean. This is not your thing.
No, it's really not.
Somewhere, someone at Atari looked at the CX-10 joystick for the company's famous 20-cent game console. When that would make a killer decanter. No, this isn't a guy. It's 100% real.
No, fact, what it actually was is some alky was like, "Where can I hide my booze? Oh, I'll put it in the controller of my Atari."
Oh, you mean like that golf movie we watched, Happy Gilmore, where he had booze in literally everything?
He had booze hidden everywhere, yeah. Inside of his clubs and, everything, yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, I don't know. I used to watch this YouTube channel called Classic Game Room, and the guy on there, when he was playing a Miss Pac-Man, he was saying, here's a cocktail cabinet so you can have the joystick in your right hand and a scotch on the rocks in the left or something. He was
now that actually kind of makes sense. That I can see. Sure,
the only way to play Miss Pac-Man, he said it was that way. So I don't know. That's what this reminded me of. I think it looks nifty. I don't know.
And Horror Cat Dad, you would have to choose what kind of whiskey you want in there, so it's going to be your favorite whiskey, right?
Like the drink classes. It'd be cool if you could get whiskey stones that were shaped like the Pac-Man ghosts to throw in there, huh?
I mean, yes.
Am I wrong? I'm just saying.
No, you're right about that.
All right. So I just thought that was a funny one. Oh, music news.
Yeah, this one I found a bit surprising.
Sting sued by ex-police bandmates over royalties. Sting has been sued by his former bandmates and the police over alleged lost royalties for the songs they recorded together between 1977 and 1984. In a civil case filed at the High Court, guitarist Andy Summers and drummer Stuart Copeland claimed they had been underpaid for their contributions to songs like Roxanne and Every Breath You Take. Although they did not receive writing credits on those songs, they say the band entered an oral agreement to share the income in 1977, which was later formalized in written contracts. Okay, I was about to say, you better have written contracts.
Yeah.
Oral doesn't mean anything.
Especially this long after the fact.
Forget it. It's not going to do anything, yeah. Sting, who wrote all of the Police biggest hits, denies underpaying his bandmates. In court documents, his lawyers called the claims illegitimate. The police formed in 1977 and quickly became one of the United Kingdom's most commercially successful bands. They earned a U.S. #1 single with Every Breath You Take, taken from their fifth album, Synchronicity, in 1983. It was later recognized as the most played radio song of all time and was heavily sampled by P. Diddy and Faith Evans' 1997 song, I'll Be Missing You. However, the band split up in 1984 amid personal musical animosity. Copeland later told The Guardian that the band beat the crap out of each other during the very dark recording sessions for Synchronicity. In 2022, Sting, whose real name is Gordon Sumner, said he felt the band were holding him back. My frustration was I would have written an album's worth of material, but also had to entertain these other songs that were not as good, he told Mojo Magazine. Explain to someone why their song isn't working is a bit like saying their girlfriend's ugly. It's a very personal thing. That pain was something I didn't want to go through anymore. Although Sting was the band's primary songwriter, the other members both made contributions to their albums, and Summers have often claimed that he originated the iconic guitar riff on Every Breath You Take. Oh, one guy's named Summers, the other is Sumner. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. In 1977, documents submitted to the High Court showed the band agreed that when any one member received publishing income for a song they'd written, they would share a percentage of that money, usually 15% with the other two members, in what was termed an arranger's fee. In the court documents, none of the members agree how that arrangement came into place. Summers recalls it taking place on the street outside their manager Miles Copeland's office in Notting Hill. Sting, however, contended that there was no oral agreement, but Copeland said that Copeland had floated the idea during a visit to his flat in Bayswater to help keep the song sweet with his bandmates who were not present. Either way, the agreement was formalized in 1981, then revised again in 1995 and 2016. The current legal support dispute centers around which categories for publishing income Summers and Copeland should receive compensation. It's a complicated area, but royalties are generally split into two separate categories. Performance royalties, which are paid when a song is played in public, on the radio, or via streaming service. So I guess if Sting performs one of the Police songs at a performance, he has to give them royalties for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
Mechanical royalties paid when a song is pressed to CD or vinyl, but also when it is streamed on demand. Summers and Copeland argue that they should be paid for both of these categories, while Sting says their agreement only covers mechanical royalties. Oh, so if he does the song in a concert, they don't get royalties. Sting's lawyers further contend that, under the terms of the band's 2016 agreement, all three members agreed not to pursue any historical future claims over royalties. His bandmates claim that does not stop them disputing the terms of the 2016 agreement. They claim a loss of about $1,500,000. Sting's lawyers denied they had been underpaid and argue that, in fact, Summers and Copeland may owe him money that has been overpaid to them. In 2022, the musician sold the rights to his songwriting catalog to Universal Music Group, with the deal covering both the solo hits and songs he penned for the Police. The deal was estimated to be worth $200 million. Yikes! I don't know what to make of this. This sounds like a mess.
So here's first let me say hi to Sashi. Welcome, yes. Sashi. Good to see you, my friend. And I do have to point out that there are rights-related issues, both in the music industry in general and the UK in particular, that I don't know. Plus, I don't know the details of their arrangement. But what I can say in general is usually the writer of a song gets the lion's share. Right? If you wrote the words, if you wrote the music, so forth, you are considered to be the artist that came up with it. If you're just the band playing it, maybe not so much. You get royalties for the records sold, but, the writer is the one that gets it for other people recording it and playing it and licensing it and so forth. It sounds to me like, and I've heard this with a lot of bands like this, where the main talent is like, I'm tired of carrying you guys. You're literally holding me back. I'm going off on my own, which Sting did, and it became very clear, yeah, that's where the talent was. He didn't really need the Police.
I'm curious about this statement. I want to bring this up. What this boils down to is everybody knows the name Sting, and we all call them the other two guys, which makes me wonder, any lawyers listening, these other guys could probably go ahead and perform those songs in public too, for
not necessarily, especially not the one who sold the rights to the song.
Oh no, you're right about that, because I was saying if this is an issue of stage rights, well, the issue is any of us can perform those songs, and we don't owe anybody for what we do in public. Right. But no, you're right. I guess this is just.
And in fact, it probably is a situation where Sting probably has a great deal more latitude to perform songs. I don't think he's performing anymore. I don't think he's doing live performances anymore. But when he did, I think he had a great deal more latitude to do that than these guys would have.
Sting is only wearing a plain white T-shirt in this picture. No, he's not a bum. He's the Demolition Man. Remember the song Demolition Man?
Yes,
And
this was the '80s too. So I mean,
and they played, and you know what? If you watch the movie Demolition Man, they play the song at the end of the movie.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds like this stuff has been rolled out in courts and things before. So why is this not settled? You probably already talked about that, right? I mean,
well, no, I didn't. But what I was going to say is, it sounds like there's a great deal of animosity between these guys. So it's like a divorce, regardless
that
of
happens with bands a lot.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Regardless of what's fair and what's not, they believe they're entitled, wronged. And so they're ready to. Well, if they're ready to go, fist to fist, they're definitely ready to tear it up in court. So.
So again, I don't know whose side I'm on, but again, it sounds like these agreements were already reached. I mean, I guess it's up to the lawyers to figure out, right? But I mean,
I would imagine
it sounds like this stuff is still being contested. I'm not casting any aspersions on Sting. If I don't think he's trying to screw them. I don't think that's what's going on here. But maybe they think the deal wasn't fair. I just don't know.
I did know that, Nate, but I just heard an interview just a couple weeks ago on Professor of Rock that he didn't say it, but he seemed to imply he was done touring. But that those kinds of things can change on a dime.
Sashi says there's a YouTuber who does stuff on music copyright, so he doesn't remember what her name is. So if you think of it, let us know, Sashi. I'd be interested in that.
Yeah, please. That's actually the kind of stuff that I kind of geek out on, so I'd appreciate that.
But do check out the Police music. They are classics. I haven't done one of those for a video yet, for our 80s videos. We should do that. I should do that next time.
Yep.
And of course, our final story of the night.
This one you sent me, and I'm like, really? You want to cover this? Okay.
I don't do these often, but if I hate to say this, no offense to anyone Australian in the chat, but I'm like, thank goodness it's not another American messing up with things.
Well, there's that. The other thing too is sometimes when you are a YouTube, what do you call us? Content creator? I don't know what you call us.
This guy's a pranker. I don't like prankers.
But you got to kind of call out other people that are making YouTubers look bad, right?
I don't have to call them out. The police are looking for them. Okay, because of course, this is more like a PSA portion, because I think we've done this before, like people messing around with holy sites in Japan. I don't care what country you go to. You enter into a church, a Buddhist monastery, whatever, or a graveyard. You are a guest in the country.
Right.
You treat these places with respect, or just don't go in them.
Right.
Period.
Just like when you go to someone else's house, you at least wipe your feet, take your shoes off if that's what they want,
And different countries have different rules on what is polite.
And you don't take anything while you're there.
Oh boy, yeah, let's get into this. So, Lachi Jones, an Australian influencer, is at the center of the recent major controversy. Yes, he was accused of stealing a beer can and figurine from grave sites in Japan. Not just in Japan, but around the world. He has been under fire since he was accused of disrespectful acts at the Japanese grave sites. In the circulating video online, he was seen filming himself stealing items from the grave sites. The incidents have now sparked broad outrage amidst the local communities, and as per reports, even prompted reports to the Japanese police. Lochi Jones is an Australian content creator. The Sydney-based creator, as visible from the social media accounts, has made many travel videos and posted them on Instagram and TikTok. While all seem fine, a recent video from the influencer gained significant negative attention from not the typical adventures of his, but for a series of videos he filmed in Japan. The clips have allegedly shown him entering the sacred spaces. He was further seen interacting with the memorial items in a manner that is condemned as illegal and disrespectful. The specific incident from the influencer's video that ignited a firestorm comes from near the Ogihara forest of Japan. The video was titled something forest in Japan, place where people go when they don't come back. Okay.
Right.
Words I can't say on YouTube.
Right.
Part 2, graveyard flip. In it, Jones was seen finding an unopened Kirin beer's can at the gravesite. He then made a coin flip and tried to decide if he should drink from it. This act of his, as per the social media, was considered a profound violation of cultural and religious norms. He then replaced the can with cigarettes as a gesture that did little to mitigate the offense taken by local citizens and the viewers of the video. The fallout from the video has been quite severe. Both Japanese and international social media users have expressed intense anger. Many even went ahead to call for police intervention urgently. Japanese citizens even detailed further alleged transgression. They accused Jones of taking the rabbit figurine from another grave, too. It was even stated that he placed a model gun on the tombstone and removed the ceremonial Sotoba plank. Oh boy. It led to unified social media users' demand for the Aussie influencer's arrest and his permanent ban from re-entering the country. The law has found Ulachi Jones caught. From the legal perspective, some even clarified that all of these actions aren't just morally reprehensible, but they are explicitly criminal under Japanese law. A video of lawyer and YouTuber Legal Mindset explained how the influencer committed a crime. He cited Chapter 14, Article 118 of the Japanese Penal Codes. As per the created video and his legal knowledge, the act falls under crimes related to places of worship and graves. As per the statute, publicly profaning a cemetery leads to imprisonment for up to 6 months. It also comes with a fine of 100,000 yen. As of now, Jones has not publicly addressed all allegations against him. Neither has he talked about his behavior in Japan. I have some things to say about this too. I listened to a podcast called Kowabana, Japanese stories from the internet detailing about ghosts and other monsters and things. And I'm thinking one thing I would never do would go and violate a site in Japan because I never know if something like from The Grudge is going to come after me.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm just
Exactly.
saying this is like something out of a horror movie. This is like the plot line for a horror movie. Some stupid influencer decides to deface something.
I would not be surprised if there doesn't end up be. I could see a Japanese filmmaker making a horror film, to not a very thinly veiled, poking the finger at this incident and saying, you people need to understand that we have a reason why we, hold things sacred. Nate, I was thinking specifically of Johnny Somali. I hadn't heard the outcome of that. He's spending 30 years in a Korean prison.
Which side?
Well,
either
side is bad, but
either side's gonna be bad, but one side's gonna be worse.
Honestly, if it was on the north side, he's probably not going.
He's not coming back.
He's not going to be serving the full 30 years either. Let's just put it that way.
The Australian for Japan, Asian countries are thinking of sharing a database on all these influencers. Japan is talking to other Asian countries. Yeah, you got to do it. And I want to say this too. This type of behavior is reprehensible in any country. You don't go up to grave sites and start messing with them in the United States or anywhere else because they are sacred in this country too. I don't have any sympathy for these pranksters. If you're going to another country, be respectful. Yeah. And the thing is, it's funny. I remember this one horror movie. This was an American horror movie called The Grave Dancers. And it's a wonderful plot. It's all about they're in the cemetery, and the one guy finds this note about dancing on a grave, and they're drunk. Go, let's dance on the graves, right?
Yeah.
And then suddenly they start being followed in the middle of the night by ghosts and things. They don't know what to do, and they actually end up getting. It was actually a pretty good movie. I was surprised how good it was. And then they actually end up getting a paranormal investigation team for the local college to. Oh, this is a perfect opportunity for us to get evidence of ghosts, and it kind of leans into that but they're trying to get rid of this curse that's on them, So it. Anyway, sorry, I went off on a tangent there, but no, that Pacelli guy found out he lost a lot of weight in the Philippine detention center. Yeah, I mean, this is it. Just don't do this, and this is a loved one that passed away. Maybe beer was the favorite drink or something. Just leave it alone. And I remember Logan Paul got into horrible trouble when he was in Japan and went to a certain forest that people go to
when they don't intend to come back. Yeah.
Yes, and it's funny in William Shatner's show The Unexplained. That's in the first episode. He talks about that forest, and he he actually was filming around in there and actually found a body hanging in there, right?
Wow.
And he was posting it on social media and stuff. And then, of course, that person's family members didn't even know this person had done that to themselves and were horrified. That's how they found out their loved one had died.
Yeah,
through his stupid prank videos. So, I mean, this is. I'm sorry. Countries, do what you have to do. Find these people out.
Yeah.
I have no respect for them, including if any of their American citizens. You do what you have to do. You go to another country, you learn its rules, you learn its customs, and you be respectful, just as I would want people to do the same when they come over here. So, in the United States. So, please, be better. All right. And I think that about wraps it up with 5 minutes left before we hit the 2-hour mark.
Not bad.
What did we learn, Charlie Brown?
We learned that the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Okay, Knight Rider looks hopeful.
Still holding out for Highlander. All the rest kind of sucks.
Frankenstein is hit or miss, but it probably won't be good. But you never know.
And despite the clickbait, I don't really need a new decanter.
Of course, when Boomer said, "What did we learn today?" my first thought was the QWERTY song.
What? So what we have learned applies to our lives today, and God has a lot to say in His book.
You see the God's word is for everyone, and now that our song is done,
we'll take a look. There you go.
I like that song. I never heard it before. I like it.
Oh yeah, it's we'll have to do a good old days about VeggieTales one day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was how kids learn about Bible stories, right?
Yeah.
That was a big thing.
Yeah.
Like the Jonah and the whale and all that. What was I going to tell you though? I just don't. Sorry, that prank thing threw me off. But that's why I thought of it, though, because I'm like, yeah, this is like something out of a Japanese horror story. Something's following him now, probably.
You know what? And you kind of hope so, right? It's like, you freaking deserve it. If we find you in 7 days in a closet all mangled up, that you got what you had coming to you.
Japan and Italy, they're both countries that have these occult things in them. Go ahead, you were saying.
Yeah, there's a cemetery by us. It's called Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, and we were there.
It's kind of a defunct cemetery.
Yeah,
it's an old.
It's like kind of hidden away, and someone had left a bottle of beer for a loved one, or just to pay respects to the deceased at one grave. Some idiots that were walking around the cemetery, the same as us, one of the guys grabbed the bottle of beer and decided to drink it. I hope he's haunted.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mess around with these things. Troy, don't forget about the possibility of retroblasting going into the Tomb Raider news.
I would not be surprised if he does. Speaking of VeggieTales related things, I got to watch the Light of the World hand-drawn animated movie of the gospel. It was, as I feared, it's mediocre.
Oh.
It's aimed at kids and only kids. That's too bad.
I love VeggieTales.
Well, no, it wasn't VeggieTales. He was just saying it reminded him of
one
this
that came
Light of
out.
the World
Right.
Jesus.
But, I mean, VeggieTales is supposed to be for kids, but I love VeggieTales.
I will say it had some good moments, though. Okay, yeah. Good news. They opened up a drive-in theater here in your town. Well, good. I wish that they would reopen one around here.
Dude, you need to go to it.
Closest to us. Huh?
You go to it, man. You get a hot dog and sit back and watch. They need to have they need to have a good drive-in movie, though.
Well, no, it's got to be a double feature. They're almost always double features. And that's actually where Netter and I used to see all of the opening weekend films. We would go to the drive-in because, it's
we didn't want to be
way.
around crowds of people, and
you could close your windows if you wanted to be quiet. You
could also bring in your own food.
You could bring dinner with you.
I've
you could
never
stretch
done
out in your car.
I've never been to a drive-in.
Seriously?
If you can find one around you, go to it. It's fun.
I've never
And you
had
want
that
to make sure
experience.
that you're center. So you want to be about, let's see, what was our favorite row? What were we? Third row back.
Third row
center.
back center. Yeah.
Or third hump back, because they kind of have them on these little humps that you can be kind of angled up a little bit.
Right, and they got the the posts Well, the posts are numbered so that you can find your car when you go back to the concession stand. But they got these speakers that you could put in your car, but you don't even have to use them anymore because they broadcast over the radio. So you turn to a certain FM radio frequency.
Oh, clever! And you can listen to it in your car.
And you can hear it in stereo. Exactly.
That's very clever, actually. You know what? I need to.
Great date night.
That's me on my bucket list. I got to do a drive-in before I die. I gotta go to a drive-in.
You really, really should.
You know what's? There was some movie. I don't know if it was an Australian movie where like it's all these people in the drive-in and the government basically says you can't leave the drive-in, and they're all stuck there and they're going nuts and they're stuck in the drive-in for like days or weeks or months, and it's like a little society builds, and it sounded like an interesting idea for like a post-apocalyptic or like, you know, don't trust the state type of movie or something. So opening weekend they did Night of the Living Dead and Rocky Horror. That is a perfect double feature. Yes. Oh, I love Night of the Living Dead. I've seen Rocky Horror. I actually have a DVD of that somewhere. Rocky Horror Picture Show. It has the lips on the front thing.
Yes, it does.
All right. So nothing going on tonight with deleted scenes, but tomorrow night you have a Monday movie night. Is that right?
Yep. And I had to repost the poll because I had it was split between Fire in the Sky from '93 and Signs from 2002. And the repost, it was unanimous. They want to see Fire in the Sky. So tomorrow night,
that goes along with our Friday stream.
Well, that's why I was doing it. Yeah. So tomorrow night we'll be watching Fire in the Sky. Membership is only $2 a month if you want to join us and watch the movie along with us live tomorrow night at 8 Central. 9 Eastern on my channel.
I'll bring the popcorn. I make really great popcorn.
If only we had Wonka Vision. You could send the popcorn.
Right, exactly. Of course, it would be really, really small popcorn. I'd have to send the big truffle popcorn, and it'll come out like little ladyfinger popcorn.
Australians are good at post-apocalyptic horror movies. Yes, they are. I think it was an Australian one. Yeah,
I know you're probably thinking of Mad Max and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Eject a Curtain. Welcome, by the way. So yeah, that's Monday.
And then Tuesday night, we're gonna have a very special Sparkwood 21.
Yep, Sparkwood 21 at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern on Deleted Scenes and Affiliates. We will be watching the short films of David Lynch.
I'm looking forward to that.
It is a bizarre ride, but at least this is the one rare occasion where each of the films has an introduction by David Lynch, so we actually get to hear him talk a little bit about them. So.
Does one feature the Hamburglar just slapping his own face for 10 minutes or something? I don't know. That just popped in my head.
Well, let's put it this way. One of the films is called Six Men Getting Sick 6 Times.
Getting sick? Like throwing up? Ew.
Yes. A lot of good animation in these films. Very well, we'll get into it on Tuesday. And then immediately following that on my channel, the next that's 10 Central 11 Eastern on my channel. The next episode of Blake 7, the season 6 episode Headhunter.
Well, I like the title.
Yeah.
Someone loses a head.
Someone does lose a head.
Okay, well, don't spoil.
And it involves a rampaging robot.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Well, alrighty then.
Yes. Very classic sci-fi.
Nothing going on Wednesday this week? No guest spots or anything?
Don't think so.
But Netter of Netters Network, you have your show.
Yes, on
Thursday.
Things. Right now, I don't have a guest, so I've got kind of an idea in mind of what I could do for Thursday Things, but right now I don't have a guest.
Okay.
If anyone is interested in being a guest on Thursday Things, either this week or in the future, please drop me a DM on Twitter X. Let me know what day you'd be interested in. Remember, it has to be a Thursday, so just give me the date that you would like to be on, and let's see about getting you set up. And it doesn't even have to be that you want to grow your channel. It can just be, I'm really excited about this thing and I want to share it with other people.
Cool.
Let's do that, because I'll learn something new too.
That's what it is. It's about learning in this community. I think we're all just trying to figure out this crazy modern world we're living in, right?
Yep.
I guess.
Yep.
Then Friday, last call with us.
Wait, did we completely? There was some other Thursday stuff going on.
Oh, there is. I'm sorry.
I have a very busy day going forward on Thursdays. This one in particular. So after Liquid Lunch, I am going to become a regular fixture over on Pop Culture Archivists.
Oh, cool.
So I'm streaming for 3 hours on Thursday afternoon. But then after that, I will be going.
Now, let's clarify. That's Pop Culture Archivist, not Pop Culture Minefield.
Or Pop Culture Breakdown, yes. There's a lot of pop culture out there. This is Pop Culture Archivists. Then later that evening, I will be over on 540 Studios for a guest appearance. Just a one-time shot. That's not going to be every week. Then we will be going into Netters Network.
All right. Well, we'll look for that, definitely.
Yeah.
And of course, tune in every weekday at 1 o'clock Eastern, and I guess 12 o'clock Central Standard Time for Liquid Lunch. And I believe tomorrow you might talk a little bit about Star Trek, as it is the 59th anniversary.
I know, crazy.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, man, it's still, well, that's a long time. And then Saturday, what you got going on?
Saturday is over on Netters Network. We will be watching
Ghostbusters.
Yep, the original Ghostbusters.
I've heard of that movie.
Yeah, I have too. It's a great one. It's a great one.
And I did forget. Sorry, I got interrupted with Friday. We will have a last call this Friday as well. Be sure to check that out, and we'll have an interesting topic, I'm sure. And then comes Sunday, that brings it back around to Geeky Geezers. So cool.
Yep.
All right.
That's
it. Y'all have a good week. No Labor Day holiday, unfortunately, but because that was last week. But still have a good time, and keep an eye out for those pumpkin delights by Little Debbie in the grocery store, as I will be, and as we close on Halloween. All right.
There you go. All right, guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.